Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Jared Powley's Fragrance Reviews. Tonight we're going to be investigating a highly intriguing and interesting fragrance from the house of Nicole Miller. So this is a fashion house, Nicole Miller, and this fragrance is called Nicole Miller for Men, which came out in 1994, and this is classified as an EDT eau de toilette concentration, and the modern formulation is considered an oriental woody fragrance. So I picked up this bottle at an antique shop. And for those of you out there, antique shops or antique malls can have some great hidden gems for fragrance lovers. I am quite sure I have an older formulation. And how do I know this is because when I look at the recent notes in the most recent formulation, I do not detect almost any of them. This fragrance has been reformulated at least 3 times. The original, I believe, was by a company named Riviera Concepts. The second formulation was by a company named Parlux. And the third is a more obscure company I've never heard of before called Schiralvin Enterprises. So with this scent here, I would say with Nicole Miller, most fashion houses that aren't specifically into fragrances have at least one excellent scent, and it's usually their home version of the fragrance. So I would say this is Nicole Miller's best fragrance for men. I've tried a couple other ones, but this one, I must say, is a gorgeous fragrance. It's deep, smoky, ambery, and it's got this herbal lemon vibe to it. But I would say this is a vintage type of scent. It's a little heavier, it's a little more resinous, but I would say this is awesome. It's a little bit sweet, just a touch, but not sugary sweet. So I'm going to give this a spray on the back of my hand. So initially, you get a deep herbal lemon, and it's a touch sweet, but I do not detect any honey or apple, which is many people claim to smell in the modern formulation. As it dries down, I definitely get an alcoholic note. And this is where the bourbon note from a later formulation comes in. It's definitely leathery. You get some floral notes. It's smoky in kind of a burnt ember by the fireplace type of smell. And it has a bit of a barber shop scent to it as well, but it's still herbal and lemony. Later on, it becomes deeper, more resinous. You get some definite tobacco amber notes, and you get this woodiness as well. So this is a fragrance that, in my opinion, like I said, my bottle has to be an older formulation, because I do not believe that any company that is producing fragrances today would have that type of smell, because it's not a modern smell. It's definitely an older, more vintage style that you would expect from the 80s and 90s. So the modern formulation, the top notes are honey and apple, which I do not get. The mid notes are leather, vanilla, and oak moss. I get some leather, maybe a little bit of oak moss, and the base notes are amber, sandalwood, musk. I get some of those notes, but I get a lot more notes from the older formulation. So the older formulation note breakdown, the top notes are bergamot, lemon, tarragon, which I get, pine needle, apple, citrus oil, and honeydew. The mid notes are geranium, bourbon, lavender, sage, jasmine, akumal, patchouli, leather. And the base notes are sandalwood, vanilla, cashmere, tobacco, apoponax, oak moss, and amber. So the original version, the OG, is much more complex, much more dense. And I find that the pine notes, the tarragon gives it that heavy herbal vibe, and the bergamot and the lemon and the citrus oil gives it the citrus opening. The mid notes give it the bourbon. You pick up that alcohol note, you get the leather, and you get some floral notes, which kind of mixes in to give a little bit of a smoky, resinous vibe to it. But later on, you do get the tobacco, you do get the amber. So I would definitely say that this bottle that I have is an older version, which is much more to my liking. But you may like the more modern version, because you may like something a little bit sweeter, not as heavy, not as powerful. I got excellent performance on this fragrance. I got about 5 to 6 hours of a good scent bubble, great scent wafts. It lasts on the clothes, and it has some fairly good, resonates very well. It's not close to the skin type of scent, but even now, as I smell, you pick up that smokiness. You pick up that herbal smoke, citrus, and I think those are the defining characteristics of this. And now the alcohol, the bourbon scent is gone. So it is a fairly complex scent. There's a lot of notes, but I would say with this fragrance, it's about this smokiness, this woodiness. It's deep. It's masculine. There's nothing that is overly sweet about it. It's definitely not a modern take. So overall, I would say if you can get your hands on it, and like I said, I do not know what year this bottle came from, but I do not think it's the modern. If you can get your hands on an older bottle and you like vintage fragrances and you can take a sniff of it, it may be for you. So if you like this video, please hit the like button, the subscribe button, the notification bell. Any comments or questions you have, leave them down below and I'll always get back to you. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.